Okay. Hello. Thank you, Ashraf. It's a little bit hard to be brief on this question, but I'll do my best. I have to say that I find that you know the text of the protocol better than many of the companies working under it, so respect, and thank you for having me here today. So, to briefly touch upon trends in the Israeli economy recently, I would say, Israel is a high-income country. We reached about $45,000 GDP per capita in 2021. A home to more than 300 multinational corporations with R&D and research and scouting centers in Israel. This trend continues. And, Israel is a high-tech country characterized by many ventures in high-tech fields, many large companies. But 2021 was an exceptional year, even in comparison to the previous years. The venture capital inflows, investments into Israel reached a peak of about $26 billion, which represent almost 150% growth comparing to 2020. Despite the COVID-19 slowdown and despite everything, our economy was very stable throughout these years. I work for the Ministry of Economy, for the Foreign Trade Administration, where for us it's all about trade and mainly exports. And in this regards, 2021 was also exceptional for the exports from Israel, reaching a tremendous, a great number of $143 billion exports of goods and services. And what was special about this year that, of course, it's estimation when it comes to export of services, but it was the first year that export of services surpassed the 50% line. So it was 52% export of services, mainly IT services, also to our largest client, the United States of America, whereas the export of goods accounted for 48%. So we expect this trend to continue, like in many developing countries, and it grows faster in Israel, the share of the export of services. Second trend that I would like to touch upon generally, talking about Israel, is the recent regional developments. A year and a half ago, Israel, United States, together with several other countries, was part of the Abraham Accords. We formed diplomatic relationship with the United Arab Emirates, with Morocco, and with Bahrain. This also represent or creates new horizon, new prospects, countries that we hardly had trade with, and even if we had, it was like unofficial. Businessmen could not travel, and like the QIZ, it's all about businesses and connection between businesses. And since then, it only happened 19 months ago or so. We're going to sign a free trade agreement with the United Arab Emirates next week. We've concluded the negotiations. We've signed two economic cooperation agreements with Morocco and Bahrain. And I think our standing point in the regional economic landscape has completely changed from what it was in early 2020. And I'm sure it will affect the Israeli economy and also the economic relationship between our countries. I mean, between Egypt, I'm now in Egypt, and Israel.